Today we will be reviewing dolphin pose. To begin in dolphin pose, we are going to start in a forearm plank with our palms on the floor, extending our feet behind us, coming into a straight plank here with the elbows tracking over the elbows and our core is engaged. We'll take an inhale, and on the exhale, slowly, we're going to start walking our toes towards our arms, and then we're going to press back into our dolphin pose, similar to downward dog, pressing into the heels, the ears coming right in between the upper arm, and taking some breaths here. We'll take an inhale, and on the exhale, slowly walking the toes back into our forearm plank. Now we do have some modifications. Our first one, we are going to use a block. Now this one is just to help keep the forearms stable while we're in this position. So we'll be holding our block right like this, right between our L shapes of our hands. So once again, coming to our forearm plank, elbows right beneath the shoulders, extending our feet back, and our block right in front of us. Core nice and tight. We'll take an inhale, exhale, walking the toes forward, and coming back into our dolphin pose here. Inhale and exhale, coming out of our dolphin pose. Now the next one that we have, we can modify. Instead of having our palms facing the floor, we can clasp our hands together using the outside of the forearms to help press ourselves up. So once again, coming onto our forearms, we will clasp our hands together. Inhale, finding our forearm plank here, core engaged. Exhale, slowly walking the feet forward and sitting back into dolphin pose. Inhale, exhale, slowly walking the feet back and returning to our kneeling position. Now we do have some transitions that we can do. The first one is going to be starting in downward dog. So on our hands, grounding down through the hands, the finger pads, the knuckle pads, we'll tuck the toes, lifting the hips up and back. We'll take an inhale here, exhale, inhale, and on the exhale, coming forward into a straight arm plank. So the shoulders are over the wrists, core is tight. We'll inhale, exhale, coming down onto our forearms. Inhale, exhale, slowly begin to walk the toes forward, finding our dolphin pose here. We'll take an inhale, exhale, walking our toes back out into our forearm plank. We'll take an inhale here, exhale, pressing up, returning to our forearm plank. Inhale and exhale, lifting the hips up and back, returning to our downward facing dog. So that was our first transition. Our next one, once again, we are going to start in downward facing dog. Once again, grounding down through the hands, coming up on the toes, tucking the hips up and back. Inhale here, exhale, coming to a straight arm plank. Inhale, exhale, once again coming to our forearm plank. Now from here, we're going to drop the hips to the floor, untucking the toes, opening up through the heart in our Sphinx pose, gently shifting our gaze up. Inhale, and exhale, we're going to tuck the toes, using the core to bring our hips up, and slowly we're going to walk our toes towards us, and then sitting back into our dolphin pose, Now, one other variation that we have is if this is uncomfortable, we can slightly bend the knees or even step the feet out wide if that's more comfortable. So we're here, we'll take an inhale, and on the exhale, taking the knees nice and wide as we come down onto the knees, putting the tops of the feet down onto the mat and sending our hips back into child's pose. Taking a couple of breaths here. Inhale and exhale, slowly walking ourselves up. Now the last transition that we have is going to be used to set ourselves up for something like a headstand in a more advanced class. So what we're going to do is starting in our forearm plank. For this one, depending on the pose, palms can either be on the floor or we can clasp those hands depending on what the intention of the pose is. Coming into our forearm plank, we'll take an inhale, exhale, slowly walking the toes up, and then sitting back into those heels, reaching the heels towards the floor. From here, we'll take an inhale, raising one foot up towards the sky, similar to three-legged dog, but this is three-legged dolphin. From here, you could kick up into whatever headstand or inversion you would like to do. Inhale, exhale, we do the same thing with the other side. Inhale and exhale, slowly walking the toes back. And that is our dolphin pose.